as you mentioned earlier, we're just past like the 1 year anniversary of the Twitter files, and Volume 1 of the Twitter files, the subject of that was, of course, the Hunter Biden laptop, and that came up again at the hearings. Dan Goldman apparently going down with the ship on that Hunter Biden laptop. Let's take a look at this, another piece of video I have.
Look at that segue. You can't teach that, man. You cannot teach that. That's skill.
Yeah, no, it'd be great if you didn't step on it, so when I clip it, I wouldn't have to do it over. But thank you for the compliment.
That's persuasive.
All right, let's go to Dan Goldman talking about the Hunter Biden laptop.
You are aware, of course, that the laptop, so to speak, that was published in the New York Post was actually a hard drive that the New York Post admitted here was not authenticated as real. It was not the laptop the FBI had. You're aware of that, right?
It was the same contents.
How do you know?
Because it's the same. I mean,
you would have to authenticate it to know it was the same contents. You have no idea. You know hard drives can be manipulated.
Are you suggesting the New York Post could participate in a conspiracy to construct the contents of the Hunter Biden laptop?
No, sir. The problem is that hard drives can be manipulated by Rudy Giuliani or Russia.
But what's the evidence that happened?
Rudy Giuliani can barely manipulate his zipper fly. He's going to manipulate a fucking hard drive on a laptop?
That's what I should have said. Yeah. But he got it anyway here. Yeah.
Rudy Giuliani is going to manipulate a hard drive. He knows how to create a copy of a hard drive. Unbelievable. All right, let's keep going.
But the point is, there's
no evidence for it, so you're engaging in a conspiracy.
I'm glad you agree with me, Mr. Shellenberger, that transparency is the most important thing. And my last question for you is, do you think it would be
like that's just a non sequitur, the way that he did it. Yeah.
He did it backwards.
Right. Right. Let me back that up a second, just so we get that again.
Are you telling me trust fund Levi's heirs are not the best and the brightest?
Yeah, right.
So you're engaging in a conspiracy.
I'm glad you agree with me, Mr. Shellenberger, that transparency is the most important thing. And my last question for you.
So when he does that, I'm glad you agree with me. This moment of panic flashes across his face as he realizes he forgot the setup.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that made no sense to me when I was watching that. And this clip went so viral, and I'm watching it and I'm thinking, wait a minute, what, did they edit something out? Like what? Like that makes, there was just a complete leap, complete jump. All right, let's keep going.
Do you think it would be transparent if Hunter Biden came to this Congress and testified in a public hearing, and more transparent than if he testified privately?
Literally, I've never thought about that. I have no idea. You don't know? Literally never thought about that.
Public testimony more transparent than private testimony?
Are you familiar with the First
Mr.
Amendment?
Chairman, I yield back.
Congress shall take no action to abridge freedom of speech. Yeah. And that's what you just described.
Mr. Shellenberger, is 13% censorship still censorship?
Absolutely.
And the other 87% is what we call the chilling effect that the courts have long recognized that they engaged in. That is the problem.
There's a by the way, part of the operation, Congressman Goldman, part of the operation was to change the terms of service. So you see them constantly trying to change the terms of service. You see them, it was 35% of the URLs that were, this according to EIP, were labeled, removed, or soft blocked. That's all forms of censorship. That censorship is not just removal.
But 65% were not. So how can the government be so coercive?
Does the First Amendment say that the government for the course on government efficiency? Does the First Amendment say the government can censor?
This is how stupid the rich liberals of Lower Manhattan are, that they voted for this idiot because he held Trump accountable during the impeachment. Held him accountable for what? The guy, Trump got away with everything during the impeachment. I mean, look.
He's on the verge of getting reelected.
Yeah, and he's going to get reelected. Right, exactly. In a landslide next year. I mean, look, I'm not a Democrat. I wash my hands of this. But as Democrats go, they had Yuleen New, they had Mondaire Jones. Even Bill de Blasio was in the race for a while. He'd have been better. This guy is an absolute clown. Just a ridiculous person. Just a totally fucking ridiculous person. 65% of the request. What the hell are you? 60? That means 35%. You made that point, I think, Matt, because you can kind of hear you in the background at the end of this. But do you want to add anything before we play the rest?
Well, it's just in the entire universe of things that you could bring up.
Right.
Right.
The question the thing you decide to bring up is the proof that they censor in 35% of cases.
Right.
Like, that's just leading with your face in a boxing match. I mean, this guy's a lawyer. Like, what lawyer introduces that? I don't know. It was amazing. And so, we were trying to get on his case, and I yelled out something about it being, we have 35% of a First Amendment, but Michael made the same point. And,
yeah, here, I'll play the rest because I hear your voice at the end of this.
Time of the gentleman has
They're
expired.
not censoring. They're flagging in the social media companies.
So
under
coercion, 35% of a First Amendment, or
It's not the First Amendment. It's the terms of service, as you said, and they are flagging it for the social media companies to make their own decisions. That is not the First Amendment. That is the terms of service.
I mean,
Congressman,
that
you're an
is
attorney, you know
just
that the
almost
4 federal
too
judges-
absurd to respond to.
I know, and again, and I made the point to him. It's like 4 federal judges have already said that it's that is censorship, and he knows very well what all the cases are. I'm assuming.
I'm sorry, I have that. Sorry, I cut that off too soon. Hold
But it's on
I have
appeal
that
in front of the
it.
Supreme Court.
There we go. Yeah.
Just seen the
Congressman, you're an attorney. You know that 4 federal judges have already ruled that.
And I know that it's on appeal in front of the Supreme Court right now.
Yeah, where it's certainly going to win, right? With, like what?
Well, sadly, it may not, but still, I mean, it's very amusing to see a Democrat put all of his trust in the Supreme Court.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Well, and to go like Schultz and Plaskett they had enough with the last one. They got laughed at too much. They left you alone. So he decides he's gonna be the hero. He's gonna go for you guys, and he picks the very well litigated Hunter Biden laptop, arguing that it might be fake or tampered with. Like even the Post had to admit that it was real.
The Post, the New York Times, fucking Politico. I mean,
everybody
about it. Glenn did some of it. I mean, but even the most mainstream organizations have already said, we made the calls. We found the other people on the end of these emails. Like this is real. And for him to, he actually says you would have to verify that. Like it's been done. It's been verified.
Right. What's he talking about?
Right.
So like one line after the other is like false, like 100%. If it was a copy for a news story, you'd have to like strike through the entire thing. You'd have like, Mr. Shellenberger and then thank you at the end. That's what would be left, But he fucked up every single line there. We actually, I don't know if I talked to Shellenberger about this, but I have been trying to needle him like over and over again because I've always had the sense that he's dumb enough to say something like revealing. So occasionally I'll try to tweet at him and give him a hard time. I think he just takes this shit personally. I've actually heard in private that he's a nice guy, so that's kind of surprising. But he comes off as a total doofus, as you see. So,
yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Please clap.